Come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's talk about it. We have a special guest. We want to talk about this LSU game. Listen, I told you guys, I'm going to ride this LSU game till the wheels fall off. I can't stop talking about it. Hershel Dennis is here. Big Hershel, what's the word?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Man, everything is good, man. I want to talk about this game, man, because, for the long time, USC has had this, for years now, has had this little identity crisis, if you will, when you're talking about being tough, man. And I think last night, for the first time in a long time, don't get it twisted, the Penn State team played the Rose Bowl a few years ago, 2016, balled out. But, man, we saw this team go up against an SEC school and actually take it to them, man. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, first of all, I'm super proud just watching that game and just observing it. I was really impressed with, how we weren't getting bullied, how we, was just matching. Back from our day, all the SEC teams that we used to play, we used to knock them out.
I got something for you too. Something for you. We about to show. I'm gonna wait for some people to come in because a lot of people don't realize with your team, what you talking about. Well, we got a bunch of them coming in now. Let me go ahead and just do this real quick. Many people don't realize as to what Hershel was saying. Let me rewind this back real quick. Many people don't realize what Hershel was saying. This is Hershel. Tell them what's going on right here.
Hey, man, we run an inside zone. This is to seal the game. That run last night, that Woody, man, how he kept
it was the exact same thing. That's what's crazy.
It took me back. I seen that.
Tell them who that is, though. Tell them who that is, Hershel.
Man, that's me right there. That's me running the rock. That's Auburn. That's Auburn.
That's when USC went to Auburn, and they were ranked higher at that time, right?
Yeah, they were like 6. They were like ranked 6 at the time in the nation, 3 or 6, one of those.
And but everybody said, "Oh, go ahead."
They were highly ranked. People didn't believe, they thought that this SEC team was going to smash us, and for us to go out there and do, and perform the way that we performed, man, it just felt, I had some of the same feelings watching this team last night play against LSU. So it brought me back, man. I was impressed with the physicality. Shout out to our strength and conditioning coach.
Absolutely.
For getting our team ready, because they weren't, our D-line, like I hear a lot of people were saying, man, that they were fighting. They were, even our secondary, man, I was so impressed with how our secondary, a majority of the game, were always in position to, be around the player to make the play. And that's what was some of the biggest, changes that I seen. And I was like, man, I was impressive. And then just for us to be stuffing the run that like we were getting the stops that we needed to get on third downs. There's just like minor little cleanups, but just how guys was all just rallying around the tackle. The few previous years, it always seems like our defense was always a step behind, or they were always late to the play. But for them to just, guys it looked like they were playing fast mentally. They looked like they had the game plan. Everybody knew their job. And when you are able to play fast like that and know exactly where you're supposed to be, it really shows the type of caliber athletes that we have. You get to showcase your athleticism when you don't have to think so much and you're out of position. Last night, man, guys were in position. We were bringing pressure. We were playing well as a team. We looked sharp on both sides, But for that to be our first game, man, I'm just excited for, every game to come again. So, yeah, they look good, man.
Man, I totally agree with you, man. And USC has never had an athlete problem. Even the past couple of years, they haven't had an athletic problem. It's all about development. I always say if Utah could develop these guys that are 3 stars, not saying that's what we want, but if Utah could develop these guys, why can't USC? In 1 year, we see D'Anton Lynn coming in, doing the same thing he did with UCLA's defense and, turning them from the 89th defense all the way to the number 10 total defense. Now we see the same type of thing. And listen, this is only the beginning of the year. We didn't just come like some of these other schools and play a cupcake. We played a real – listen, for all those who think LSU was weak, this is a down SEC team. Listen, man, they came out, they came to play, man. They look like some dogs out there, man. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think I mean LSU looked good too. They looked sharp, and I mean we were just able to match them physically. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that made the biggest difference. You know, with the guys, I think us not turning the ball over helped us a lot throughout the game, and put us in position to be able to finish the game the way that we did. That's what it came down to. Just that I think they had one or two turnovers, but just our guys, man, playing together and not folding when things were getting hard or when they were getting challenged, like they were stepping up. And man, it was just good to see that secondary and Eric, even see that Eric,
man,
for him to be back out there making plays, at linebacker and bringing his energy. I was really impressed with number 7. With I think Kamari
Ramsey from UCLA.
Yeah, that kid can
he's
play,
a dog.
Man.
His closing speed was serious.
Yeah, exactly. To see him flying around and getting to the flats the way he did was impressive. And then I was really impressed with how Lincoln kind of readjusted the offensive game to Moss Miller's to his good attributes.
Yeah,
I know a lot of us were probably guilty of it, wanting him to make feet with his plays just because that's what we're used to seeing. But to see him, just make, I mean, some of the balls that he was throwing, man, it
was crazy.
It was crazy. And just to see us take advantage of what the defense was giving us, to take advantage and get the big third down conversions that we needed. To get the stops that we needed when we needed them, for us to make that play where went off sides on LSU, and then for Moss Miller to go up top real quick, just to see these kids making those plays like that and playing like at a fast pace. That was impressive to see. That's what I was really excited that these guys are. You can tell that they're being coached at a high level.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and now that we've always had the athletes, like you said, but to see them playing, with their high IQ, I mean, that's what's going to take us far. That's what's going to allow us to adapt whenever we run into tough situations. We got the physicality, we got the IQ, we got the athletes. Now it's just about staying focused, man, all season long, and making sure that these kids are, staying focused off campus and not being too content with big wins like this, which I'm sure the coaching staff is going to do a really good job of, keeping them humble, keeping them in line. But man, we got to celebrate this.
They can shut it down. Let the team shut it down. But I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate maybe 2 minutes before the Utah State game this week.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Exactly. It's a long time coming, man.
Just like you said, man. With everybody just kind of downing. I come from an era where it didn't matter what conference. Like, we was the dominating conference.
Yeah.
And then just to see us take on that challenge in a dominating fashion, that was the part that really felt good, man. Just to kind of, hush a lot of the haters up about, SEC ball and West Coast ball. Man, I'm yelling at my wife is getting mad at me. I'm like, West Side. I'm out there. I was so happy.
You didn't throw up the W, did you, man?
I threw up the dub and everything, man. I was West Coasting.
Man, all day. You got to have that pride, man. And really, when you talk about a game like this, really swaying, because what we saw lately, and I know once you were on here before, you talked about how you made that close decision with doing the Oregon thing. But a lot of these guys, man, just having that pride, just to really understand like what it really means, like just to stay home and represent the city. And we saw some of these guys do it. But you alluded to Lincoln Riley, Miller Moss, doing things with his feet. And one of the things that I thought about with this is that Miller Moss, initially when I first said it, Miller Moss doesn't have the same athletic ability as a guy like Caleb Williams.
Right.
And I believe because he doesn't have that athletic ability, I think he has to rely all the way on the system. But to me, he almost executes the system as good as as good as Caleb, because there was a stat that came out today. I'm gonna read this stat to you. And I can't believe it, man. It said that Miller Moss, where is it at? I know I put it. Miller Moss had the ball for I think for 2.5 seconds, Caleb had it for 3.5 seconds on average. And so that's saying to me that Miller was getting the ball out of his hands a lot quicker. And like I said, he didn't rely on the athletic ability. What's your thoughts on that, man, comparing the two?
Yeah, well, you can't really compare the two. They're two different players, right?
Two different styles,
way two different styles. You know, Caleb, extends plays with his feet. With Miller, you know, he can still move around, but just not that being a priority in his game. It forces him to really execute the system, like you said, and it forces him to play fast and know what's happening before the ball snapped and really going through his reads. He forced one ball to Kyron, but Kyron ended up making a great
acrobatic catch. That was crazy.
So, but he probably should have hit the drive route on that. But other than that, you know, when it forces you to really utilize the system, it makes it easy to coach. You know, and because like that stuff that Caleb was doing, you don't coach that. That's not coaching.
Exactly.
That's just him doing his thing. And but when you get somebody, especially like Lincoln Riley and Miller Moss, I think it's a good marriage, man, because you know, Lincoln Riley is a system guy. You know, he's a progression guy, and with them, and then you could just tell that Miller knows this system.
He's back there operating like a robot, man. Boom, 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 boom.
And you know what and that also speaks to, you know, his character, sticking around, learning the system, and that's not like that's not normal, you know, these days around. Guys are so quick to hit the transfer portal, but for him to stick around, learn the system, be there, wait his time, and then now when it's time for him to step in and take it over, man, he's prepared mentally, he's prepared with his confidence, and when he gets into these tight moments where he needs to go down, take the team down, and finish the drive, he's not nervous and doing things out of whack. Like he stepped up in that situation and finished, man. And that's something that a lot of the great teams that we were built on was finishing in those big moments when when the game is on the line, when we need to come back, when we need a big stop. I've seen a whole lot of finishing, man, from both sides. But Miller, man, that boy, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed, and I'm glad that he doesn't have to run around so much, man. Use the system because we got a great offensive line, so just utilize it, you know.
But that's the thing. Like they made reference last year to the offensive line just not being that good, and I've always kind of argued the case that when you run around like that, it puts more stress because the offensive line is going from sideline to sideline. Now you don't know which way you got to go. Whereas you had Miller last night, just kind of boom, 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 boom. And those guys don't, you know, this was supposed to be an SEC team. Our guys held up pretty well. There were some times the pocket kind of closed and I saw Miller kind of go out. But look, every play is not going to be perfect. But for the most part, what we saw was pretty decent offensive line play. We ran the ball pretty effective. Woody Marks, so much so, Woody Marks was able to do a run like what you had.
Yeah, no, he definitely used the pocket. He moved around in the pocket well. He got rid of the ball quickly. And I mean, that allows the line it takes a lot of stress off of them. And then without him running around, we don't get in a bad position of like getting holding calls and, you know, and hurting ourselves. So him utilizing the pocket the way he did, getting rid of the ball, that makes the whole offense kind of just run smoothly. So he did. Hold on.
Keith, I can hear you, Keith. I see you coming in if you can hear me, but for some reason your link is not. It says device is not connected. I don't know why it's doing it. I can see it coming in, but I'm not sure what the deal is. I don't know why it's not working. If you're logging in differently. But what were you saying?
Just Miller, man, utilizing the pocket the way he did. That's the responsibility of the skill players to make the offensive line right, you know, and I think he did a good job of that last night. He made those crucial throws. You could just see the confidence coming out of his hands, man. And then you can also, it just seems like every time there's some USC greatness around the program, you know, that position steps up. You know, with Mike Williams being there, man, around campus, you know, I hit him up and told him, man, I said, I could tell that you're around these receivers, man. Those boys are making big plays.
You talked to him since he's been there?
Yeah, I just talked to him today. And he's like, man, I can't take that credit, man. These young men are working hard to make a name for themselves, and they did last night, man. Number 8, what's number 8? Who's that?
That's Lane, Jacoby Lane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Number 8 did his thing. Number 10, number 2, all of those guys, man. You can tell that they're around some greatness, man. And he's kind of, even though he don't want to take no credit, that energy kind of feeds off into the position
Yeah.
that's around. Like when Kerry Colbert was on the
Oh my
coaching staff,
God.
you can see the players. Like when I would watch the receivers playing, it looked like KC was out there.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
just him giving that energy, man. It was big time plays, big time catches from number 10. It was just like, man, it was just working in our favor last night, man. So I
I'm gonna
was
see if you noticed another thing that I noticed, and I mentioned this kind of earlier today. Let me see if I can pull this up. But when you talk about last year, there were certain guys. Caleb hit like Brandon Rice on the regular, or Mario Williams, and maybe a couple other guys. But for the most part, the ball was being distributed like
yeah.
very fair last night, very even. I don't know if it was intentionally being done like that, but
Well,
what's your thoughts on that?
let me tell you. Let me tell you. When you use the system allows you to go through your progression, and then your
Yeah,
progression is going to tell you where the ball goes. It's not if you're just trying to get one person open, but that's just what it looks like when you're utilizing the system. He has
yeah,
reads that he has to go through when he's meshing. He's reading. If his first read is there and he likes it, bam, that's where he's going. If it's not there, he progresses to his second, and that's what allows you to get the ball around by utilizing the system and going through your reads. That's all
yeah,
that is,
yeah,
And but when you got certain guys and certain when you have to kind of do your own thing or make plays with your feet, and you don't like you're not utilizing the system as much, that's what kind of will cause you to become one dimensional with just a
yeah.
few guys. But
Just a few guys. Yeah,
using the system, man, you got to go through the progression. Your
yeah,
first read, you're looking at that flat defender. Okay, flat defender ain't giving you what you want, then you progress to your intermediates. It's just utilizing the system, man. LSU was doing a good job of it too, and that's why I was super impressed with our defense because that quarterback was doing his part as well, and
yes, yes.
they were taking what our defense was giving them, and that's what I was impressed with, man. I mean, it was just so much like our defense would play off,
I
right?
don't understand that playing off part at first because it was
No,
that
not
same.
off. No, I'm talking about the DBs would play off, like they would be.
Yeah, yeah. They were
Yeah,
playing.
they would
I
play
didn't
off. Just
understand that
they would
that
just
part
be
at first.
off, be reading. Like sometimes you'll tell your receiver, your cornerbacks to play off so they can
Yeah,
have enough time to read and see what's
react.
going on.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
shout out to the defensive coaches because they would adjust and boom, they'll play them up, and it just kept giving the LSU offense different looks. But that's what I seen last night was we were adjusting really quickly and giving that offense a hard time. But it was just like on both sides, man. They were using the system, and we just kind of our defense was adjusting better. They were making the plays, and we could have ran the ball a little better. We need to average about 4 or 5 when we're
yeah,
running the
yeah,
ball. I think we were just a little under that, but other than that, we got the big runs when we needed it.
yeah,
And those first downs on those third down conversions really helped. So it just like it evened himself out. It was like it was a lot of beautiful coaching last night, man. And I was impressed with the defensive side, the offensive side, the energy of the players, how they were staying together. It was that's what the system allows you to do. To answer your
yeah,
question,
yeah.
it allows you to distribute the ball to different players.
No doubt, no doubt. They said that this is, and I think one of the other things that I'm real excited about. They said this was probably the best offensive line, and it is. These guys are three years in the system,
Yeah,
LSU, and so this is the best offensive line USC. They say will face all year, even
wow.
Michigan, all of those guys. And so I think for them to be able to execute plays the way they did against the so-called best offensive line,
Yeah,
I was 10-2 coming into this season, but man, I'm telling you right now, if they play like the way they played last night, and as the
yeah,
season progresses,
yeah,
it's kind of
yeah,
hard for me to say that they're gonna lose. But I mean,
yeah.
they
No, I
really.
mean,
What you
bro,
think?
they played well. There's the little stuff that needs to be corrected is so easy to correct. There's some. I mean, after this week of film, and they get into the meeting rooms, like the stuff that just needs to be corrected is so minor that they're. I mean, it looks. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who we had. I didn't know like what it was going to look like with this new staff. But then just watching the game, watching our guys play fast on both sides of the ball, especially our quarterback and our receivers making those big plays, our secondary playing fast and being in the right spot, not looking like they're out of position every time they throw the ball or run the ball. So we're headed in the right direction. And we are going to be very difficult to beat, going down the line, especially with our D line playing the way that they're playing, our linebackers playing the way that they played. It's just really minor stuff that needs to be corrected. And we just continue to do what we're doing. We'll be a very difficult team to beat.
Man, hey, I totally agree with you. I want to ask you, I want to know if you want to take a couple calls and let some people ask you some questions about the game. I'm gonna put the link in the chat, but listen, you cannot turn your camera on. I can see the screen in the background. If your camera's on, I'm not gonna get to it. If your camera's off, you can answer it, and we could ask Hershel a question real quick. But I want you guys to tap in with Hershel real quick. The link is right there in the chat. Those who want to ask Hershel a question. As I stated, Hershel's been around the block. He's been there. Of course, he's a city legend, but he also went to SEC country. And for those who came on late, this is what Hershel did early on in the 2000s, man, when they went up against Auburn, one of the biggest big time SEC programs. You see Hershel going up the middle. That sealed the deal right there. That was a fourth quarter run. Man, and it absolutely, you got people popping in here. Keep your camera off. Okay, you got some questions for Hershel? Let me take that off. Christian, what's the word?
What's going on? What's going on, Hershel, man? Appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man.
Man, big fan. Watched you all the time, man. All the time.
Hey, Christian, make this one. I got Coach Rowe. He played at USC. I'm going to have him tap in, but just real quick for me, real quick.
All right. Man, I just wanted to say, kind of how do you feel about the quick defensive turnaround so quick?
Man, I'm impressed. I'm amazed. It's something that we needed all these years, to have all of these athletes and now finally having a defensive staff that's going to help put them in the right position so they can, really showcase their athleticism. And I'm impressed with the defensive staff, man, and what they were able to do last night.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that, man. I appreciate you, Jay. You can get the next one in, brother.
Hey, I appreciate you, my brother. Hey, fight on, man. Coach, what's the word? Coach, what's the word?
Jay, can I break the rules? Can I turn the camera on?
Man, oh yeah, you can turn the camera. You know that, man. Come on, man.
What's good?
Hey, what's good, man?
Good, Hersh.
Hey, you asked me, can you break the rules? Man, you already know, man.
Hey, I don't want to steal your show. I just want to say
no, man. Hey, stay here, man. We want to hear from you too.
Hey, so the thing that's most impressive about it is, and a lot of people were saying because on our show last night that was the top offensive line that they're going to see all year.
Yes.
The only difference is I didn't know if the secondary needs to improve or there was no pass rush, but that's because the O-line was good. But to counter that, LSU was not able to run the ball. When they needed to stop, that box was tough last night. That front seven looked a lot different than last year. And if you keep that front seven that way the whole year and you just add a couple of sacks to it, we're a lot different. Like Jamal said last night, Ryan, he was like, we were a little worried when the game came on the line. And my rebuttal was that we shouldn't be worried when the game is on the line. Right. You know what I mean? That's what changed everything. They got the stop. So this is a new change, man. I was so geeked last night, dog. That was crazy.
No, me too, man. That was the biggest thing that I was impressed with too. Just like how we were finishing those drives that we needed to finish to keep us in the game to win or come back. So that was huge.
Hey, Coach, I'm not no X and O's guy like you are. I need you to come and do that chalkboard thing for me, man.
Yeah, anytime, man. Just let me know when you come through.
You do a nice little breakdown on your show.
The one thing I was worried about was how Brian Kelly, and he did it a lot yesterday, they use a lot of misdirection in their play scheme as when they're running routes. They bring guys back up under. They play with their eyes a lot. And they did a really, really good job of keeping everything in front of them, right? They didn't panic. It was like, all right, they got it. Let's get to the next play. And they were able to recover with the next play. Another thing that they did a good job with was the issue was always, can they overcome mistakes? And SC last night was able to overcome big 3-and-outs when LSU needed to stop. The defense was able to overcome that mistake. So they're gradually getting better, man. Like this, what they put on film yesterday, what they put on TV yesterday is complete night and day of what you saw. Now, what Hersh said, there's a bunch of work they got to do. There's a lot of work that they got to do, but it's not the end of the world, and it's little fixes that you're able to get over, and you get it done in these next 4 days and get on film and get better and get ready for Utah State.
Absolutely. Coach, while you on here, I want to ask you what I asked Hershel, and that was how Miller Moss operated out of the pocket opposed to how it was with Caleb last year. I said that he didn't have the athleticism to rely on opposed to what Caleb had, so he basically had to work the system. What's your thoughts on that?
So Miller Moss is different from Caleb, right? Miller Moss is athletic, but he's a different type of athletic. And so what we saw with Caleb was he's able to expand the plays, he's able to move. I think Miller Moss is a gunslinger, right? He's gonna stay in the box, he's gonna take chances, but his memory is so short and he's so composed that you're gonna the plays that we saw Lincoln Riley run last night, we never saw plays like that with Caleb Williams, right? And you see Miller Moss kind of struggles with the throw downs. Miller Moss wants stuff to develop, or if it wasn't thrown out, it was all downfield. It was a hot route to get it downfield. I think he's highly underrated as far as big boards. If he has this year that we're going, he's one and done. I think he's pro ready now because the way he reads downfield, the way his progressions go, and the way his eyes are. I know he has a long way to go and he needs to put more on film, but he's different, and Lincoln can run a lot of different things that teams haven't seen. So that's the advantage for these first 4 games. And game 3 is Michigan, and they won't be able to prepare with 2 game films. You know what I mean? So that's the advantage that they do have, is that he's different, and Lincoln's running different stuff compared to what he ran last year. And we can run the ball. So Woody Marks makes it a lot better.
Man, I like Woody Marks, man. He big time.
Woody Marks looked like old Trey Ford used to hit that power back.
Man, he hit that thing at the end of the game. I said, man, you put a 3 in front of that.
Did you see the little clip I put up of Hershel?
No, I didn't. I'm gonna go look at it.
Hold on. No, we right here. We right. This was Woody Marks literally looked like Hershel. This was Auburn in 2023, 22. And this
2003.
2003, yeah. This was Hershel running up the middle. And man,
this is still the game.
That's like the same play that Woody Marks did, man.
Yep. Hey, you should have saw Trey Ford when he wore the green and gold and used to hit power like that.
I'm already knowing, man.
Come on. Yeah, that was a good way to cap the game off, man. Brought back a lot of memories, and it was good. It was good stuff.
No doubt, man. So look, man. Hey, before you get out of here, Coach, what's your record, man? I had 10-2. Where you see it at now, man? Do you are you? I don't even know what you had. Where you having finishing at?
I thought this was a foundation year. I thought this was going to be a year where they build a foundation and they're going to take some losses. It kind of changes a little bit. I had them at 9-3, but I definitely could see 10-2. Penn State and Michigan is a big game, and you don't know what you're going to get, right? But those are losses we could take as long as it's a good showing. I'll take a 3-point loss to Penn State. I'll take a 3-point loss to Michigan, and that still gets us in the playoff. And as long as we can improve on it and get better, but this is definitely a playoff team. Where they fall in the playoffs, I don't know. I could see them competing for a Big Ten championship if they improve. We can't go off this one game. It is one game now. Let's see if they get better. The most important thing they have to do is they have to learn how to win, right? They didn't win the national championship last night. They just won 8 games. So they have to learn how to win and keep working and keep getting better and understand that everybody wants them, and they're going to have to keep moving forward, keep pushing forward, and learn how to win and keep working hard and compete for a championship.
Well, Hershel and Coach Rowe, this is Keith Biggers. He played against LSU, linebacker for USC, 1985, 1984. What Rose Bowl you played in, Keith?
Come on, no, Jay.
I played it. Hey, Jay, let me help you, brother, because you've been getting it wrong. I transferred in 83. I played in 84. I played against LSU in 84, and I played in Rose Bowl 85.
Okay, yeah, I'll be having it all backwards. Keith, we didn't hear from you, man. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the game, man?
Man, it was explosive. It was tight. It was all hard hitting. It was everything it was supposed to be. What I loved about it was that LSU got dissed because they came in talking about some bully ball and it never happened.
Yeah. You're right about that.
They wanted to punch us in the mouth, and what they forgot that FC boys know how to punch back. We from the hood.
Come on.
We from the hood too, so
hey,
remember that.
they just need to start recruiting in the hood again. But that's a whole nother story. I'm not even gonna get into that.
Yeah,
But
he
you,
did all
Hey
that.
man,
Hey,
stay out our backyard. You hear me? Go back. Get all them boys in the bayou. Stay out our backyard. California belongs to us.
yes, sir.
yeah, man. So, hey, look, I think my expectations. I don't think if it was exceeded last night. I think I kind of expected that because I've been talking about this. You know, Keith, I've been kind of saying that this coaching staff is going to, enhance the play of these guys, man. So, your record, Keith, your finishing record, where you see them finishing out at, man? I had 10-2, but I think I want to push it a little further. I want to maybe 11-1, maybe 12-0. That's the way I'm feeling right now.
That's why I'm feeling. I like 11-1. I
Yeah,
don't know where that upset's gonna come from, but I think it's 11-1.
yeah. What about you, Hershel?
That D line did exactly what they needed to do, and our boy Mason Cobb came through at the end with that pick.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I think I'm thinking 11-1 as well. I think we're going to go on a good run, but it's over. Like especially with teams like this. This reminds me of the 02 team when we came out. Pete Carroll's second year, and didn't nobody really know what to expect from us. And we came out really hot, played well. We ended up being co-national champions that year. But it's gonna, like, what I think is gonna happen, we're gonna be doing really, really well. And then when we least expect it is when we might, suffer a loss, but that loss may come in right on time, right before we get into, looking for the playoffs, and it'll be something to wake us up and get us back on gear. But yeah, 11-1, it sounds like something that's really manageable for this team.
In other words, complacency can kind of set in, man, if you're not careful, man.
Yes, I mean, it's hard to say. It's like everybody's going to, I mean, I'm sure the coaching staff is going to do a great job of keeping them humble, not allowing complacency to seek in, but it just naturally happens, no matter how dedicated and focused you are, it happens in some sort of way. And sometimes it just happens to wake a team up. We all fall victim to it, to where we get into a flow of things and thinking that, it's like, nah, we can't be stopped, or it's just like, nah, we're on point. Even when you're down, I mean, we was down to Cal. We were down at Washington State that year. And and Washington State was not a team at the time that we wasn't even worried about them. And then when they started to come back, and then they took us into overtime, we still, I'm pretty sure I could speak for all the players. Like, even in our third triple overtime at that game, we weren't even expecting to lose. We still didn't think we were going to lose. And it just so happened but that loss allowed us to just kind of revamp, regroup, and finish out the season really strong. And I think that might happen hopefully it doesn't, because they got more information that, they have more people around them that could kind of mentally prepare them for something like that happening. And it'll be nice to go 12-0, but I think 11-1 is a little bit more realistic for this group.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. But if anything, I think everybody, the whole Trojan fan base right now, is really sitting on cloud nine. And look, I'm gonna continue to sit on cloud nine. Like I said, I'm gonna ride this thing to the wheels fall off all week long. Probably 2 minutes before the Utah State game, man. I'm gonna keep putting this in the air because, look, it's been a long time since we've seen them play physical ball like this. You want to say something?
Hey Jay,
Yeah.
you know something? This is an interesting fact that these are the same two teams I played pre off season, or we say pre-game or preseason.
Right.
These are the same two teams, only a different order.
Right.
What's LSU and who?
LSU and Utah State.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
We got Utah State
we smacked Utah State 42-14, something like that.
The LSU game, you guys lost that game, right?
Yeah. The moment I came out the game, LSU ran amok.
What was the team that beat LSU? That was the 19, what was that? 70 something, 79 or something like that.
Come on, man. I'm not that old.
I know. You're supposed to know your Trojan history, man.
Yeah, that was 79, man. Come on. That was with Charlie White.
Charlie what? Okay. That was at LSU, right?
At LSU in the
LSU
swamp.
okay. And they came to the Coliseum when you was there.
Right.
Okay.
Jay, the only thing I'm worried about is, and this isn't Carol, this isn't Jen Cohen's fault or whatever, but they played last night, and you have to take a day off, right? So today's their day off.
Yeah,
So
sure.
then they play on Saturday. So they only have Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday to really work, right?
Yeah.
And then they're gonna jump into a game, and then we're gonna get this expectation of what you saw last week, and it might not be the same way just because of preparation, right? Tomorrow they're gonna do is try to fix their mistakes and then jump in the game plan, right? They haven't even watched the film yet because they have to take a day off. So tomorrow will be the first day seeing the film from last night, and then they have to jump into a game plan. And then once they jump into a game plan, they have to get that. That's Wednesday. Then you're looking at Thursday, Friday. You're walking through. I mean, man, I'm not a fan of it, and it was already pre-scheduled. But the way they scheduled this week isn't good. So it might not be the best that we're going to see from them. But we also have to keep in account that it's going to be a short week. So I just want to put that in everybody's mind right now. Like they're on a very, very, very short week to turn around and get this thing going. So
that's a great point. And you look at what Idaho did to Oregon. I mean, that wasn't a short week. Idaho and Oregon was lost in the sauce, period. I mean, I don't even know how to explain that. Anybody see that game?
Well, Idaho
I saw bits of it.
No, Idaho. Yeah, that people be surprised. You got a lot of people, but to that point, Utah State is just as they're probably a little better than Idaho. So, to your point, Coach, you can't sleep on them.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's
Jay,
good.
I'm gonna check out, man. Thank you for having me.
All right, man. I'm about to get out of here.
Good seeing you again, man.
You too,
all right,
brother.
Coach.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Much love.
So look, I appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Hey, Hersh, anything you want to say before you get up out of here? Big Keith, anything you want to say before you get up out of here? We're gonna probably be Hersh, you gonna tap in all season, man?
Man, I'm tapping in all season, man.
All season, man. You're welcome, man. Hey, Big Keith gonna be coming on in, different ones. So, man, we're gonna make it happen, man.
Absolutely, man. I love spitting out with you guys, man. Especially my little young brothers, man.
Yes,
absolutely.
Hey, Hershel, good to see you, man. Like I told you before, man, you're my favorite back from the Pete Carroll era, man.
Come on,
Bar
man.
none. Bar none.
I appreciate you, OG. Thank you, man.
Long Beach Poly, man. I got some boys. I played with Hank Norman, who came out of Long Beach Poly, man.
Okay, yep. I know Hank.
That's my dog, man.
Oh, man, that's a blessing, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, hey, Jay, man, I just appreciate. I appreciate you
on this
platform, man.
Hey, absolutely, man. We're gonna keep it rolling. I might just keep it rolling with just for a bunch of Trojans, maybe 4 or 5 of them, man. Just to keep reviewing the games, recapping the games, man. Get everybody thought. But I appreciate you guys for tapping in, man. Until later on, man. Any last thing you guys want to say before we get up out of here?
Yeah, Big 12, we coming.
Come on now. Yes,
Big 10, Keith. Big 10, Keith. Big 10.
Oh, well, there you go. My age is setting in. Senile and everything.
No, you good. You good. Yeah, we coming, man. Hershel, what about you, man? Anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
No, man, I'm just excited for the season, man. Can't wait to see how these boys, just take advantage of what they got. I hope they stay together as a family, play for one another, and go out there every week, man. And like it's their last game of the season, man. If they treat it like that, they'll come out on top, man.
Absolutely. So, man, look, we appreciate everybody. Hey, we got about 400 some people in here. And look, I appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Listen, you guys already know I'm going to get you with the news and notes items in the morning. Until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on.
Sure.
Fight on.